I never left it on the ground. I'm not coming down. I want to go higher, higher, higher than that.
Welcome back to the Business is Human podcast. I'm your host, Rebecca Fleetwood Hession, and we're here to bring you episodes that blend meaningful work with profitable success. Here to steward what I call the age of humanity. I believe if we transform the way we work, we can transform the way that we live. As always, my friendly request, if you like what you hear, hit subscribe so you don't miss any episode, and leave a review to tell the other humans that they might like it too. Always looking to help you and connect with others. All right, let's get into it, shall we? Ladies and gentlemen, it's that time of the year again. The 7th annual Stand Tall in Your Story event is March 12th at the Indiana Ballroom. It's an evening event, and you can check out all the information at RebeccaFleetwoodHession.com and go to the Stand Tall tab. In a world that is increasingly more artificial, this event continues to grow and expand because it's so human. This year, 8 leaders from the Indianapolis community will take the stage for their TEDx-like talk about their real life. And this event has grown 600% in the last 7 years. Year 1, I was just hoping somebody'd show up. And now here we are setting tables and believing that 500 people are going to be there. So get your ticket. Get it now before they're sold out. Welcome back to the show. I want to talk about something that I've been seeing for years and something that I personally have struggled with, lived with, worked diligently to understand. And that is when our outer life and our inner life aren't necessarily aligned. So when our outer confidence, our ability to walk into a meeting, deliver our message, answer questions from our team on the outside, it looks like we are together. We got it all together. But on the inside, it's not that we aren't confident on the inside. It's what I'm calling an inner vigilance. It's wanting to just make sure everything continues to be okay. And so I've been thinking all day about how to describe this. It's not panic. It's not chaos. It is like a steady alertness. It's watching, anticipating, making sure nothing's going to go wrong, reading people's cues, their faces, their feelings, and not just in the empath kind of way. I'm not saying that's not a thing. It's just, but it's, has anybody ever said to you, oh, you handle pressure so well? Yeah. But if you knew what was happening on the inside, you might not think that. A lot of times people will use the analogy of a duck or a goose that's swimming on a pond. It just looks like they're floating, right? But under the water, they're paddling like crazy to make it look like they're floating from what you can see. What's interesting about this is at some point, it becomes your pattern. It just becomes the way things are, the way you are, and you don't notice it. In fact, it just is the reason you feel safe is because you're paddling like a crazy duck underneath the water. And that's how you appear to be calm and confident because you have made sure that everything is together. So how you speak, how you lead, how you respond, all of that is super composed. But you're also at the same time showing this outer life that is full of composure. You are running lists in your head and pick up, drop off for kids and lunches and next week and in the next hour. And there's just this constant hum of activity that is running non-stop. And ladies and gentlemen, There's a cautionary tale that goes with this. And here's why. Your cellular structure is responding to the paddling, not the gliding. And so while it looks from the outside like you are calm, cool, and collected, your cellular structure is exhausted. And oftentimes when this is the case, you don't sleep very well. You don't recover well after really stressful, hard things. You find yourself picking up every little thing that comes along sickness-wise. You may even have struggled with immune disorder or other physical manifestation of the fact that your cellular structure is working overtime for you to look calm. And I actually get kind of choked up when I talk about this because I lived it. And I'm actually living it a bit right now because I'm getting ready for the 7th Stand Tall in Your Story event on March 12th. There's a ton of details that need to be managed and thought of between now and then. And so I'm revisiting some of those old feelings of not being able to rest and just feeling really taxed. And it's the kind of tired that a nap or more sleep doesn't really get because it's cellular, it's deep. I messaged a friend yesterday who went through a pretty rough experience yesterday, would have easily been considered a traumatic experience. Her dad passed away when she was very young, as a teenager, and she needed to go to a family funeral yesterday to a family member that she's really close with. And so it triggered all of that old trauma response. And I checked on her today and I said, "Hey, how are you feeling today?" And she said, "Exhausted," in all caps. And I said, "I know, that's why I'm checking, because basically your cells ran a marathon yesterday. You may have thought you just sat all day, most of the day, either in church or at the family gathering, but your cells were working hard." And she said, "That's exactly what I feel like I ran a marathon yesterday." And so when we have these big events and we don't give ourselves the grace of recovery time and understanding that's what's happening, and when we live that life of always needing to be on, our cells are just tired all the time. And we were taught to show up as the calm, cool, confident person, leader. Never let them see you sweat, I think was the name of a book, or at least a mantra, right? And so outer confidence isn't the problem. Keep being confident. I don't want you to show up at the next meeting and go, "Yo, my insides are just churning." I want you to be calm and confident. I want you to show up well. I want you to have all of those things. But when that confidence becomes this protective nature instead of being grounded, because it's built on constant self-monitoring and constant emotional restraint, not feeling like you're able to share real feelings in any other parts of your life. You need, your friends and your family and the people that you can lean on and say, "Hey, can we go out and have some coffee? I just need a break." And if you're always feeling like you need to stay ahead and you never can just pause or rest or be caught off guard, that's not grounded confidence, that's vigilance. And vigilance has a cellular cost. It keeps you effective, but it also keeps you super tense. And so when we do this for long enough, like I said, it has physical ramifications. And here's the other piece of it. I am one of the most faith-filled people that you'll ever meet. Like, I trust God and I love Jesus like it's my job. And sometimes that belief that God is in control and I trust him with my entire life it's always beautiful. That is always a beautiful part of my life. But it doesn't negate the times that I'm feeling this vigilance. And so I have to do both. I have to be faith-filled. I need to pray. I need to trust that God is in control of my life. And I also need to manage my cellular structure with nervous system regulation and awareness when I'm duck on the pond paddling like crazy on the inside, because I know I don't want to get back stuck in that becoming my pattern. Because somewhere along the way, it can start to feel like, well, if you have faith, you're just not worrying about anything. Well, that's a bunch of crap. I mean, I don't worry a tenth of what I used to. But there are times when my life is just supercharged like it is right now, and I'm feeling it, y'all. And my clients are like this a lot when we start working together. And when I dig into it and realize that inner vigilance is at play, that's when we have to really focus in on the nervous system regulation, because the invitation to carry faith through your life doesn't mean you're not sometimes just going through it. So don't pretend like you don't need the things that regulate your nervous system from a cellular perspective, because you know that God is in control of your life. Both are true. And so there's the gap between the belief and the embodiment of what it means to regulate your nervous system and live through these times is important. So the real question is, can you pause enough to check it? Like, is my innerness vigilant? Am I constantly feeling like I need to be on? And if the answer is yes, then it's time to treat your inner life with as much intention as you treat your physical, your workouts, your skincare routine, your highlights every 6 weeks, your picking out a new glasses prescription, whatever it is that you do on a regular basis to care for your physical body. We need to shift our beliefs and our understanding that your inner life is just as important, in fact, more important than your skincare routine or than your CrossFit workouts with the buddies. And do the things that are going to start to shift that inner vigilance, because even shifting it a little bit will make a huge difference in your cellular health. And you'll get smarter. You'll get more creative. You'll get better at your life, your job. You'll be able to handle more. And I know it sounds counterintuitive because I'm asking your inner life to get calmer and less vigilant, and the ability to respond to questions, think on your feet at a presentation, all of that gets way better. So almost every episode of this podcast and every conversation, if you've had one with me in coaching in real life, we probably have talked about some aspect of nervous system regulation. And I think people are starting to tune it out because it's become such a hot topic. And people have just kind of shoved it under the rug because they either don't know how, don't have the intention focused on it to get their pattern shifted to actually do what they need to regulate. There's a million reasons. There's something in your belief system that's keeping you from doing it as a pattern, but we got to find something for you that is going to make this a better priority. Because I don't want you to all of a sudden, like I did, find yourself so sick that your immune system just finally says, I can't do this anymore. I can't keep my outside looking calm while my inside is paddling us across the pond. And so you know what you need to do. I don't need to record another podcast about nervous system regulation. It's breath work, it's movement, it's stillness, it's calm, it's whatever it is for you, whatever your flavor of regulation is that gets your cellular system to settle. So it's the snow globe analogy. You are constantly shook up, even when you look like you got it all together. And so when a snow globe is constantly shook up, you need to sit it down so it can settle. And then once the snow globe settles, what's on the inside can see out and what's on the outside can see in. And so your shook up state of paddling like crazy, so you look like you're gliding across the pond, is a nervous system activation, cellular activation. And we need to have some safely still activities that get your cells to settle so that you have greater access to how freaking smart you really are. You think you're smart now? Holy crap. Do you know how on point smart you're going to be when you get regulated? No, it's going to feel weird at first because when you're used to being vigilant all the time, calmness feels scary because it's not the pattern that you're used to. And that's when your self-talk to say, no, oh my gosh, this is actually what peace feels like. This is new. And then you start to become more accustomed to the new way of life. That's how I knew that I was moving back into a vigilant state recently, is I was having a harder time finding peace, even in my stillness. And I was like, oh, I remember this feeling. Ugh, I don't want to live back here. I can hang here for a little bit to get through this event, but my gosh, I don't want to live here anymore. And so I don't know what those activities are for you. Some of it might be letting go of some perfection expectations on parts of your life. That was a big one for me. Some of it may be taking more time to do some breath work in between meetings, just taking a little pause, taking a walk after lunch. I don't know what it is for you, but you do. And if you're struggling to figure that out and you want some help, I would be honored to work with you in a coaching capacity to help you do it. Or somebody. There's a lot of great coaches out there. It doesn't have to be me. But I love you enough to tell you the truth. But you can't keep paddling across that pond looking like you're gliding forever without eventually some event, some circumstance that's going to give you the wake-up call that you don't want. So let's just invoke a little change on our own, shall we? So go into some reflection time. Maybe spend some time over the weekend, grab a coffee and a journal, and just ask yourself, is my inner life and my outer life aligned? Or are they very, very different? Not judging it, not trying to immediately fixing it. Just notice. Go in and look at your life with kind and loving eyes. You are not a project to be fixed. You are not a goal to be achieved. You are a beautiful human who's going to have the rhythm of the ups and the downs and the difficulty and the joy. It's all part of it. So just spend some time reflecting on your inner and outer life, because confidence doesn't have to come from vigilance. You can achieve amazing leadership things without a complete wreck to your nervous system, without a cost in general to your nervous system. Sometimes it's not even that you need to do things differently. Sometimes the shift is letting your inner life rest, because you're still doing the same things. So maybe you just start thinking about all of the things all the time. You're still going to get the stuff done, I promise. But maybe not thinking about it with a protective, fear-based diligence and vigilance that it is now. So I hope this is helpful. And if you have questions about it, or you want to dive deeper into some aspect of it once you do some reflection, message me. It might make for a great episode. Come on the show. Let's talk about it. All right. Love you, mean it.
I'm not coming down. I never left it on the ground. I'm not coming down.
Thanks for being here. You can follow us on Instagram, Business is Human, or TikTok, Rebecca Fleetwood Hession. It's a great way to share some of the clips with your colleagues and friends. All right. Make it a great day. Love you, mean it.